What's up guys? Today I'm going to be testing out some $10 skateboard wheels. So I bought these on eBay for $10. These are wheels that are supposed to go in rollerblades. These are the wheels that go in the middle and they're a little bit harder. They're for grinding with rollerblades. So nobody really rollerblades anymore. So you can get these really cheap on the internet. Some of them are a little bit over tightened. So I'll loosen that up before I start skating these. So I use these wheels for most of my how to half cab flip video. And I think it's easier to learn flip tricks with a really slow wheel sometimes. And I think that's what they're going for with Walmart boards when they put just ridiculously slow wheels on those boards. I don't think it's all about them being cheap. I think that's a lot of it, but I also think they're thinking about kids and how when you're first learning to skateboard, you don't want a wheel that goes really fast because you could get hurt. And if you get hurt when you're first learning to skateboard, you could give up on skateboarding. So a lot of times, a Walmart wheel is not the worst wheel for a beginner skateboarder. Because if you're taking your skateboard, riding down your driveway, riding down hills, and you haven't had any prior experience in skateboarding, it could be dangerous if you go too fast. Because you can get to a point where you're going so fast, you can't really stop. I feel like sometimes with a Walmart wheel, you can't roll around as much, so you tend to just work on your flip tricks and stuff like that, just stationary skateboarding and freestyle skateboarding, as opposed to just cruising around and ollieing up curbs and learning to actually ride the board. A lot of people that start out on a better skateboard or who start out on a longboard get a lot more comfortable just rolling around, cruising, carving around town or the city. And it's a totally different kind of skateboard. You can kind of tell if somebody grew up and practiced just flip tricks and they didn't roll around as much, or if they practiced rolling around all the time and they didn't practice flip tricks as much. So these wheels are very tiny. They're about 48 millimeters. They're smaller than most any skateboarding wheel you can buy. So I'm testing these out with a pretty small board. This is an 8-inch board with Thunder trucks. I'm used to skating in 8.75, so it's a lot smaller than my normal setup. I'm going to test these out and see what kind of a wheel you get for $10. So now the audio that you're hearing is on the GoPro Hero 7 Black. I'm going to try some shove-its, maybe some front shoves. They're not that bad on the mini ramp, but I can definitely tell they're slower, and that messes up my normal rhythm for mini ramp skating. With mini ramp skating, you get into this certain rhythm and this groove, and if anything messes with that at all, then it really messes up the trick. So if I'm doing the trick the way I normally do it, I land it a little lower and take a risk of getting hung up. But if I push harder and try to do the trick the normal way that I would do it, then I'm using a lot of my energy. So I really don't like these wheels, and I'm gonna try to flat spot them, see how that works, maybe do some board slides with them, some power slides, and see what happens. Oh! So they feel really grippy when you try to power slide with them. Definitely don't slide as easy as Bones or Spitfires. So I don't see any flat spots from the first power slide. So now I'm going to try to board slide a ledge with these wheels. Usually with a hard wheel, you'll have no problem doing a board slide. With a soft wheel, you might get hung up. So let's see what happens. So that slid pretty good. The top of this ledge is really waxed all the way out to where the wheels hit, and it's wet too. So it's been raining, the water's sitting on top of the wax, Now we're gonna try to board slide down the ledge, the part that's not waxed. So with a really slow wheel like this, skateboarding is not as fun. It's a lot more fun with a fast wheel. With this wheel, it takes a lot more effort and I get really tired just pushing around the park and trying to do tricks. And if you can't go fast enough, you can't do certain things that you really want to do. So I think it's important to invest in a good wheel. So I just rode on some really rough ground, roughed the wheels up a little bit. Now I'm gonna try on these loaded slide gloves and see if I can flat spot these wheels. I couldn't really flat spot them just skating around because I couldn't really get into power slides. They just stick when I'm trying to power slide, so maybe if I use these, take a little bit of weight off of my body, I can slide enough to see if they flat spot. But you know, right now they seem like they're working pretty good, not flat spotting. Oh yeah. So as far as sliding goes, these wheels held up really good. I did a bunch of backside power slides and they did not flat spot. I couldn't flat spot them. So these wheels are designed for sliding in the middle of rollerblades. So maybe they're really good for slides. The only thing is, the way the urethane's made, the hardness of it, something makes this wheel very slow. It's bumpy, it's slow, and it makes it hard to skate. I think this is a really decent wheel for flip tricks though. Like I was saying with the Walmart wheels, this wheel goes slow, but it allows you to learn flip tricks without the board shooting out from under you. So if you're a beginner, I'd say just stick with a slow wheel for a little while if you want to learn some flip tricks. And after you get better, get a faster wheel and start doing them rolling. Oh. Okay, let's try it the other way. Fakie it. Switch over. Oh, my legs are tired.
We're the ones on the run. We're the girls with the diamond.
So if you want a really good skateboarding wheel, you got to put a little bit more money in it. $10 is not going to buy you something that's worth skating. Sometimes if you can find some used Bones wheels or used Spitfire wheels on eBay for $10, that might work. But yeah, I wouldn't suggest these at all. So if you want a good skateboarding wheel, all around good skateboarding wheel, I can suggest, after Bones and Spitfire, I would probably go to Ricta Slicks. They're a good all around skateboarding wheel. You can slide, you can grind, but they still have enough grip that they're not too slick. If you want a really soft wheel, Ricta makes the best wheel for cruiser boards. They make Ricta Clouds, and those are the smoothest boards on rough ground. I would definitely suggest those if you want a really soft wheel. You can't slide with them. You can't do power slides or board slides on ledges unless you're going really fast, and then you're probably gonna flat spot them. But if you want something for cruising around on really rough ground, I would definitely suggest those wheels. So if you like this kind of content, reviews, tutorials, and just videos about what I'm learning as I grow as a skateboarder, then hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.